Paul McCartney walked in. And of course he'd never met me and I'd never met him. Well, obviously we knew who each other were.
Oh, you knew that?
Oh, of course,
yeah.
So he went to the stall beside me and we're doing the man thing, right? With the hand up like this. And just standing there. And then he sort of looked at me and he went, great story.
Are you helping young new talents to succeed in the music industry, writing their hits and stuff? Why did you decide to do that? What was where the idea came from anyway?
The idea came very simply with the success the Bachelors have had over the years. It's obvious that we knew what we were doing. And I used to get an awful lot of people in show business, in the record industry, in the music industry, actually approaching me, ringing me up and saying, Dec, how do you do this, how do you do that? And they'd come down to my studio here in Eastbourne and spend days in my studio, borrow equipment, never give it back. And it just got so annoying. And it culminated, there's a big word at this time of the day, it culminated in me being at
Should I laugh now?
at a big charity thing in London. And one of the guys who I'd loaned some equipment to was in the band. And I walked up to him and I was going to say, excuse me, can I have my equipment back? And he absolutely, what you call in English, he blanked me, walked straight by me. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Judy Garland. And Jimmy Tower she was so nervous, he just pushed her and she tottered onto the stage. The place just fell in. And then she gradually went to the middle of the stage and the famous conductor called Jack Parnell was in the orchestra. And he looked up like that, and she looked down and she said, Mr. Conductor, where are we? And he looked up and he said, Judy, you're in London. And she just put her arms out like that and she said, hello, London. Woof. Well, that was the true story, and the following Friday she was dead.
That was her last performance.
So I started to write, and I didn't realise that I could write. It's quite amazing. I would say to people looking at this and listening to this, write, do write, because you don't know that you've got the talent until you actually put it down on paper. And I had the talent of writing as I speak, and people started to say that to me immediately. It's quite amazing. It's just like, listen, this is one of the best ones I've ever written, which is 57 Secrets of a Hit Record. That is just...
And this is your own personal work.
Absolutely, yeah, all the way through. And with this, I devised, I did a complete audio with this as well. But the clever thing was, I worked with some software people, and we worked out an analysis software where anybody can write a song, and then put this into your computer and just fill in the blanks. Has it got this secret? Has it got that secret? All the way through, and it would actually give you a percentage readout of how successful your song will be. And it's quite astonishing, because if you apply that to any of the hit records which are around, you will find that they score.
So I hear you still touring.
Yep, too
How
much.
How is that going?
We were in New York last weekend, which was absolutely, I can tell you. I can say this because I'm Irish, as distinct from being English. English show business is at least 5 to 7 years behind USA show business. And you can tell that very easily by just watching American Idol, as distinct from Pop Idol in this country. The talent is just so vastly superior. We did a show last Saturday night, and on it there were 17 acts. Started at 7 o'clock, finished 1 o'clock in the morning. And they were the biggest, what they call doo-wop acts. In America, the rock thing, as in the rock bands like the Searchers and the Fortunes and all those, didn't really happen. The Beatles did, obviously. But Jerry the Pacemakers and all those people didn't really happen in the States. So they continued on with vocal groups, as Con and I always were and always will be. I mean, we are a vocal group. The fact that we play instruments is Bachelors, that's by the by. So we fit into that doo-wop category in the States. And on the show we had, people love this, old people watching this, the Coasters, the Teenagers, The Four Lads, for God's sake. When I was 12, I used to watch or listen to The Four Lads, and that's where we got a lot of our harmony ideas from. And in fact, I was talking to them saying, sorry guys, we nicked some of your material. They said, oh, so what? And we had the Drifters on with us, the Platters. And these were all, not the tribute bands you get in this country, these were all the genuine article. And some of them, I mean the teenagers, for goodness sake, one of them had a stick. Another guy was so big and old, he had to bring a stool on to sit on. And the other guy had like a totem pole, big stick like that high to hang on to while he was singing. But they were wonderful, wonderful. And the coasters, of course, are, was everybody always picking on me, Charlie Brown, Mr. Cameraman, you remember that?
No.
No!
I think it's too young.
It was all that sort of stuff, and it was just, only you.
I remember
Flatters
that.
and oh, yes, and the Great Pretenders.
Yeah.
Ooh. 2,500 seater, and it was absolutely jammed, rammed, packed, and it was just, the lighting was stunning, the sound was incredible, and the style of American artists. And this is what I tried to bring over to young British guys. I don't know why young British guys want to be into grunge and want to be into looking the same as everybody else. In America, the idea in show business is you dress for people to look up to you. Now you may dress casually. I mean, is this Versace or whatever it is? You know, this is the way people in show business should dress. It's casual, but it's blooming expensive. I wish I could afford what I'm wearing.
You know that your big fan is Sharon Osborne. She even mentioned you in her book, My Extreme Story.
Never.
As the biggest, the big singing act of Dublin, about the only non-pop artist who consistently topped the charts in the 60s.
That's right, yeah.
And she mentioned you in the book.
Well, I never knew that her father was... What's the name of her father?
No idea.
God. Oh, wasn't that dreadful? It's not Alzheimer's.
He wasn't a good
Alzheimer's
father,
disease.
I know.
No, he wasn't a particularly good father. He was a legend, a legend in our business. Bachelors, I mean, we were very lucky that we were involved with all the big promoters at the time, and all the lunatics, as I call them, lovingly, and all the, I mean, her father used to carry a gun, for goodness sake. There's all that stuff. The book, the Sharon Osborne book, was it My Incredible Life, I think it's called, is it?
No, My Extreme Story.
My Extreme Story, is, you just got to read it to believe it, what they got up to. It was just crazy stuff. But Sharon, I never knew that was her father, for God's sake.
You knew him, but you didn't
Oh
know that
God,
he was
I knew, and I knew all the stories of him hanging people out the window by the ankles and all that, you know, to get money out of them, and all that stuff, and walking into people with a gun, and
She had a pretty...
stick around on you. But
We'll get better though.
no, one
We'll
of the
get
questions
better.
I get asked all the time is you know, I'm 50 years of age, can I be successful? And I would say, just look at Sharon Osborne. What an example.
She is unbelievable.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
And then I write a thing called 1 Minute with Dec, which is the widest read music e-zine in the world. Now it goes out every week. And there's one going out tonight. And I do a whole thing in that about, you know, people all 40 and 50 thinking that they're finished in show business, and no, not a bit of it. I mean, for goodness sake, the guy who did Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Saunders, he didn't start his business until he was 65. Henry Ford was 59 when he made his first car. So, you know, it's
There's
all
always
there
time.
to be had. Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody's got written in the star. I always believe that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't. You don't have to be young and beautiful. So
All
thank you
the
so
time.
much for coming
I'm
over here and giving us
absolutely
the time
pleasure.
and the interview.
Give me a little kiss.
Thank you.
There we are. Look at that. I've kissed Ania. Are you jealous?
Just a bit.